Welcome, Negronis with Nord, episode 50. What's this? Oh, sorry. Episode number 52. Welcome, everyone. It has been a long week so far. I had the distinct pleasure of spending the weekend navigating a potential banking crisis. I assume and hope that the US government is going to put an end to the fear surrounding what is going on in the banking sector. Although this morning, which will now be a week ago, I saw Credit Suisse was having some trouble in Europe. We are seeing some of that. We saw Meta's going to lay off another 10,000 people. We see these companies, pulling back and focusing on their core businesses. Just this week, Meta shut down the NFT digital collectibles product program that they had. This is after they've already, walked away from shopping, affiliate, a number of other products that they were working on, not to mention Metaverse, but just to focus on creators. NFTs, which I always thought were complete and utter bullshit, basically. They were seen as a place where creators could maybe make some more money, where they could have non-advertising fueled income. Instagram launching an easy way to sell and collect and store NFTs was seen as a big step in this. So rolling that back is, I think, a sign of, where Facebook's, I'm not going to call it Meta because it's a stupid name. They should have never changed it. Where Facebook's focus is right now, and for creators, I think the ways in which you can make money are focusing and narrowing a little bit. Facebook also rolled back the program where they will pay you to post reels. So for the last year or so, every time you fucking log into Instagram, it's saying earn money by posting reels, right? And they were paying out bonuses for you to post reels, trying to get people to switch from creating static content to uploading more TikTok-like video content onto the platform. They have stopped that program. And again, I think some of this is the economy shifting a little bit. Some of this is interest rates rising. Why is that important for creators? Again, if you go back a couple of years ago when interest rates were effectively zero, that meant companies like Meta could borrow money for free, saying, hey, we're going to give $5 billion away to creators and pay them to use Reels was not a big deal because they could basically get that money for free. Now it would cost $250 million a year to borrow that money. Much more expensive. It is, why a lot of companies are kind of pulling back on some of these more experimental, future-facing projects and really focusing on their core businesses. And for influencers, I think you have to do the same, right? Over the last couple of years, we have been talking a lot about alternative revenue streams. We have had a lot of these things come and go. We thought that influencers selling subscriptions, Substack, OnlyFans, but then Instagram subscriptions was going to be a way to supplement your advertising revenue. That's proven really difficult to build a sustainable base of people who are willing to pay you. NFTs, that hasn't really worked out. The shopping and affiliate inside of Instagram isn't working out. TikTok walking away from their Shopify integration, walking away from their live selling products. Influencer brands have been struggling. There was a huge amount of people that started companies, big influencers. Some of those have worked out spectacularly. Many more of them have failed. So I think for influencers, it, again, as companies are focusing and they are thinking about what is their core business, as you do as well, it is clear that certainly for the next couple of years, the main source of revenue for creators is going to continue to be brand deals. And so that means you need to focus on maintaining a healthy relationship with your audience. As we say every single week, that audience is your key to being able to monetize. It is the thing that you are selling is access to that audience. So, you should be spending every day focused on how do I strengthen and improve the relationship with that audience, even more than how do I grow that audience. There is no silver bullet here. There's not going to be anything that just replaces that revenue stream in the short term. Longer term, I do think there are things influencers can do to hedge having multiple platforms, right? That's really important with the news right now that the US is once again going to ask TikTok to either split and sell from ByteDance and sell their US operations, or face being shut down. I predicted in the predictions episode that we did with Phoebe, I predicted that this might be something that happens. Maybe we just want to roll that prediction real quick. So it brings me no joy to be right about this. I don't know exactly what is going to happen. Years ago, the Trump administration said something similar to TikTok. They looked at divesting. I know Oracle was considering purchasing it, and maybe like Accenture or something, which is kind of strange. But the company is massively more valuable than it was 3 or 4 years ago. I don't even know what the number would be. I don't know that ByteDance would be willing to sell it. We don't feel great about TikTok potentially being shut down. This is also like a little bit of a f around and find out situation. And, TikTok has been caught spying on Americans, using TikTok to spy on American citizens and a few other things that are a little concerning. I fear it is being politicized and it's going to be turned into a kind of like stand against China. And it's no longer going to be about TikTok, but going to be about our increasingly complex relationship with China and the Chinese government. So look, all that to say, it's important to make sure that you hedge and that you are spreading that following across multiple platforms. If you're a TikTok first creator and you haven't put a lot of time into Instagram, I would focus on that. There is still a 50-50 chance they just ban it. It may never come back. So if your livelihood is built on TikTok, I would make sure to get onto another platform and try to transfer some of that following as quickly as you can. We've talked about newsletters, we've talked about starting blogs, number of ways to try and take ownership over your audience and make sure that you don't have a single point of failure. This is something we talk about in business all the time is looking at what are my points of failure. And so basically like if one thing goes terribly wrong, how much does that affect me? TikTok is banned and your whole business is over, right? You have a single point of failure. That's really scary as a business owner, as somebody making a living, to have one thing that your entire livelihood is dependent on. And so it is up to you to try and hedge that, try and spread that about so that you have multiple points of failure, so you are never completely dependent on just one thing. Lastly, if you haven't seen last week's episode on Fohr Squad, check it out. Applications have been open now for a couple of weeks. They will be open for a few more weeks. We are getting record interest. Applications are coming in super hot. We have seen some amazing people apply. As we said before, this is a program where we look at every single application. We read every application. We look at every single person who has applied, and we are picking people from, only a few thousand followers to millions of followers. So please shoot your shot, apply. You never know, you could change your life. As always, like, share, subscribe, ask us questions, and thank you for watching. Oh, yeah, I have some thoughts on the Oscars. Once again, Oscars viewership declining. I think it's about half of what it was 10 or 15 years ago. Again, I think there are more and more signs every day that the world has already changed and that people just haven't caught up to it. These tentpole big cultural moments are not drawing the audience as they used to. Outside of live sports and specifically the NFL, people are just not watching television, and you are the future of entertainment, of news, of shopping, of the world. And I think that we just continue to see that play out in front of us. As far the actual Oscars, I thought it was, I thought it was generally fun. I thought everything, everywhere, all at once was great. I thought it was super creative. It was not my favorite movie of the year, but I think it deserved all the love that it got. I am happy to see interesting, kind of strange, fun movies do well. I think a lot of times like fun, like it was one of the more like fun movies to get Oscar hype. Usually they're like pretty depressing, like the, you know, Banshees of Inisherin or whatever, which I actually liked I think quite a bit more and thought was probably like a better movie, like artistically, but like a lot less fun, but also heartbreaking and incredible, and incredibly written and acted. But I felt like this year, all of them were really good. I thought it was a great year for movies, and it's always nice when the things that are doing well you like, and you don't have to watch something as terrible as La La Land win a bunch of awards. Once again, La La Land was a terrible, terrible movie.